Okay, I thought I'd just pop in for a little bit, just hanging out. Um, I had been playing around with Magic a bit more recently. Happened to get enough points at the local store to get some boosters out of it. So I figured I would grab some, I open some stuff up. I kind of wanted some more more modern stuff that I could brew into commander decks with, or just at least have some like more modern, decent cards that I could kind of throw together to brew stuff with. So I got all this stuff on the points, and then I was like, you know what, I would like to check out a Commander's Masters pack, even though it's uh probably too expensive, but you know. And I also was going to grab a couple cards for my bat deck while I was there. So I got a few things from me, and then the boosters. Unfortunately, the weird. I guess it's not a weird policy. You can't get set boosters. They only give you draft boosters with your points, which I don't know. I guess that's I don't know. I don't know if it makes. I assume it makes sense because they're giving away the lesser valued packs, I guess. But whatever. But I just kind of wanted to get a few more modern cards that I could brew stuff together with. So I figured I would pop a few packs. Get all the crunchy crinkling of plastic. Hey, intrepid rabbit token, you say? That's just a token, which I assume means that the intrepid rabbit is in here somewhere. Head of the homestead. Rate 2/1/1 white rabbits. Okay, that's a foil common. Ooh. I always dig nice full art lands. So planes. Osteomancer Adept, which is the you can play creature cards out of your graveyard. And that's a decent creature. Lupin Flower Village. I got one of those in that one deck. Bird Scout. If I ever build a bird deck, that's not bad. A Galewind Moose. An Elemental Elk, you say. Vigilance Reach Trample. 6. Oops, dropping stuff. And then we're in the commons. Long. Oh, no, that's an uncommon. Other frogs have ward as well. Fountain Port Bell. Mind Drill Assailant. A rat warg. Tree Guard, Frog Rabbit. Water Wizard. There's the Intrepid Rabbit. Dazzling Denial and Hidden Grotto. Surveil lands. Surveil color fixing lands. I guess, you know, I would probably play these in decks that had 3 colors or more. You know? Because he doesn't come into play tapped. It just surveils right off the bat. Yeah, you know, that's not bad. I would take it. Again, for lower power, you know, just brewing stuff around decks. I need to work on adding more lands to my commander decks. The bat one that I've got there, I feel like is pretty low on lands. Hey, add another a full art land. The infamous Cruel Claw is kind of a fun commander to build around, but it's got kind of a funky gimmick to it. Oh, that The dog is very annoying tonight. Infamous Fool is a mythic. It's got an interesting gimmick. You can exile cards off the top of your library until you hit something, um, and then you can discard a card rather than paying its mana cost. So if you played this for your commander, you would just hit somebody with it, and then have a library full of powerful stuff and lands, and you just go, oh, I'm gonna play big beater guy, and I'll just discard a card rather than pay for it. So it's a cool idea, but I think it leads to a lot of decks that are very land heavy. It's just a gimmick of like, hey, can I hit you with this real quick so I can cheat out the thing that's going to win me the game? Cool, thanks. Bandit's Talent, Trapper, Stalker Warlock, the Happy Lizard. Zoom feature function not working again. I think it is. Hold on. Let me see if I can get that to configure video. Is it? Oops. There. I guess it's because I have autofocus off. My autofocus, though, it should. Yeah, I guess that'll work. I'll leave it on that for now. I don't particularly like autofocus because it usually doesn't work particularly well. Or at least with people faces, it likes to switch unnecessarily, which is great and not great. Teapot Slinger, those are pretty good. Little dude. Rabbit response. Just get just give everything 2+1 or +2/+1 and scry if you have a rabbit. Corpse Berry Cultivator, just a squirrel that eats berries. Tree Trop Sentries. Agate Assault, not the cool, valuable guy that throws rocks, but the card that represents the thing that lizard does. Thistledown Players. Ooh. Sky Skipper Duo. All the duos are pretty cool because it's 2 different creature types as a single card. So they kind of work for multiple tribes if you wanted to build a different deck with those in it. Sit these over here. Those are gonna. I'll put them in the bat deck at some point once I get done. I don't know. Like I said, I'm debating what to do with the rest of my night. I might just sit back and relax and watch some videos of some sort. Catch up on some streams. Brave Kin Duo. There's an island. I'll sort this stuff later as well. Byway Barterer. So when you expend 4, you can discard you may discard your hand if you do draw 2 cards. So discarding your hand to draw 2 cards, you would really only want to do if you were low on cards to begin with, and or maybe you just want to play stuff out of your graveyard. So you'd put stuff in your graveyard on purpose. Stock in the pantry. Tide Color Mentor. Dark Knuckle Boxer. Whisker. Strine, and there's the shapeshifter thing. Raccoon Rallier. Scale of Shale. One less for each lizard you control. Target creature gets +2/+0 and gains lifelink and indestructible. Which is pretty good if you're playing the lizard deck of some sort. I would like to make the red-black lizards at some point. I don't know. I've got a ton of different like tribal decks, so there's not a blue mana white dragon gravy that doesn't exist. We're talking about silly things. Also, what's going on? A fish token. It's a fish. You can have a fish. There are cards that just let you gift people a fish in Bloomburrow. So here, you just give people a fish. Rockface Village, which sounds like a thing out of Naruto. It's a full land mountain. Mist Breath Elder. Turn another creature you control to its owner's hand. Put a +1/+1 counter on this. Or return it to your hand. It's a 2/2 for 1, and you can just kind of slowly bounce things back to your hand to put counters on it. It's not really a thing you would play first turn unless you can cheat out something else. You have a zero mana card of some sort. A short bow. Bat Cleric. Rabid Gnaw. Bushy Bodyguard. None of the War Squeak. None of the good uncommons out of the packs, sadly. Heaped Harvest, which is just some food. Seed Pod Squire. Daggerfang Duo. Vanishing Light, which is exile permanent, non-land permanent. Yeah. One of those. There's all kinds of those. A Bat Otter. Is it Bat Otter or Rat Otter? Rat Otter. A Rat Otter. What you got going on tonight, Gravy? I don't know why I'm putting all these all over the place. It's kind of a mess, but let's do the Exelon boosters. Captivating Cave. That's cool. I figured I would do, you know, like I said, I snuck out to go grab some stuff from the card shop, and I had points, so I got free packs. Well, free as in that I had bought enough stuff at the store to get packs. And I don't know, maybe we'll do some Magic this weekend sometime. We'll see if any of the other folks can get together. If not, I might play. There's like a Discord that you can play Commander over webcam on, and I've played a few games, but I've been wrangling with the weird anxiety stuff still, so it's been kind of a headache trying to play. Add 1 mana any color. You can sacrifice this cave and put some counters on a creature. I mean, that's not bad. It's not like, it's an uncommon land, so. Throne of the Grim Captain, you say. Legendary artifact, you mill 2 cards. You can craft with a dinosaur, a merfolk, a pirate, and a vampire. So you have to have those 4 things to craft the Grim Captain, legendary creature, skeleton, spirit, pirate. I mean, Menace, Trample, Lifelink, Hexproof is pretty good, but man, you have to... Dinosaur, a merfolk, a pirate, and a vampire. That's... There's... I mean, I'm betting in this set there is probably a vampire pirate or a merfolk pirate. But a dinosaur vampire, maybe? There might be a dinosaur vampire, actually. Knowing Magic. Duskrose Reliquary. Sacrifice an artifact or creature. Exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls with this thing. I guess that's alright. Really needed to get rid of something. I'll keep an eye out for no vampire pirates yet. Founding Riddle. Counter a spell or look at the top 4 cards of your library. You put one in your hand. That's gives you the options. Zoya Lava Tongue, a Goblin Warlock. Death Touch. Go ahead. Okay. So these Lattice. Disturbed Slumber. Burning Sun Calvary. Wait, some pirates. Those are not also vampires or dinosaurs or merfolk. Fire Torch. Future attacks, you may sacrifice Torch and does 2 damage. A Poison Dart Frog. Adds 1 mana any color, or you can give it Death Touch until end of turn. Not a bad green creature. Although, I guess there's so many green creatures that have mana effects that it's not like super noteworthy. 1,000 Moons Crackshot, you say. Human Soldier. Join the Dead. Deconstruction Hammer. Put that over here. Stack. I'll sort that stuff later. Put it all in the box and get it sorted. A fungus card. That's a pretty funky fungus token. It's kind of got a hat on. It's a dinosaur skull with a hat. It's actually the fungus growing out of it, but you know, got a fancy hat. Looks like it has a fancy hat. Hidden Nursery. One of those caves. Magmatic Galleon is the rare. Yeah. It's one of those vehicles, fun vehicles. Self-reflection. Canonized in blood. Descended. +1/+1 counter. Descended if a permanent was put into your graveyard from it. So if you're messing around with milling cards or sacrificing stuff, you get your descended stuff easily. There's a dinosaur. Earthshaker Dreadmaw. Draw a card for each other dinosaur you control. Not bad, but it's 6 mana. If it's something you can cheat out, then That would be alright. Lists and turns of creature you control would explore. Instead scry one. Instead scry one, then that creature explores. Why wouldn't you just say if a creature would explore, also have it scry one, or nah, I don't know. Seems, well, what it is explore. Maybe that's something that is beneficial for you to do before you scry, or before you explore, rather. So if you do the thing enough times, you can flip the card over and it does another thing on the other side. Look at the top 4 cards. Reveal a creature card, put it in your hand, and put the rest on the bottom in an I mean, it's alright, but Capybara. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is going to be just for like kind of brewing up fun decks, lower powered stuff. So, you know, might get something fun out of it. Ow, I'm gonna move my feet a little bit. Brine Fang. There's another dinosaur. A water dinosaur that has Ward 3. Marauding Brine Fang. Ward 3 and island cycling, so you could discard the creature if you just really needed an island instead. Goblin Tomb Raider. Like regular Tomb Raider, except it's also a goblin. Which is weird to say, because, like, there's actually, you know, Lara Croft Tomb Raider cards in Magic now, so. Brackish Blunder. Ancestor's Aid. Brave Ruin. Exile target creature. It costs 5, though. Exile target creature, vehicle, or non-basic land. Oh, like Cloud Guard. Acolyte of Athos, which is the bat creature. Which I got for the bat deck. Just because it was a bat. And big. It's a bigger bat. Bland, basic land, the bland. The blands. A map. I found the map. That thing that they're always looking for on those kid shows. The map. Are you gonna zoom? There you go. An artifact token map. Reveal the top card of your library, put that card in your hand if it's a land, otherwise put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. That's what exploring is. Okay. So you can... I guess scrying lets you... Well, scrying would be beneficial to do before exploring, that way you could potentially look at the first card, or look at the card first and go, yeah, I want that card, or yeah, I want to put that card in the bottom, that way maybe the next card is a land I can put in my hand, or I want the +1/+1 counter, you know, whichever you're aiming for. Hidden Cataract, just Cave, Tully's Form. Let you summon a giant robot to be fitted by a large gun. Uh-oh. Which large robot, or a giant robot, is it that you scry into place? Tully's Favor is Aura. I'm kind of tempted to build a... I have white-red dwarf legend that really likes equipments and auras and such. I'm kind of tempted to build like a Voltron, like cheap Voltron deck. Because, you know, all the different auras and stuff you can just slap on him. The Pinch Crusher. What's that from? Pinch Crush. Hey. Oh. Gishak, Sun's avatar is Scry. Oh, that thing. Oh, that. Yeah, I thought. Wah wah. I thought you were talking about something else. There's a fancy. This would be. I believe it is a decent commander, but I think it's because it is so powerful as just a basic card. Sorry, not a basic card. As a commander card itself, that it gets targeted a lot. So people, look, it costs 6, 7, 8 mana, which I mean you can cheat some of that in with ramp. You got green, you got white. You can ramp some mana in, but it is Vigilance, Trample, Haste. It is a beefy dinosaur avatar, and it does combat damage. If it does combat damage to a player, you reveal that many cards on top of your library, and then you put that many any dinosaur creatures amongst them on the battlefield. So you basically just use this to cheat dinosaurs out of your library. So you would play this in a like pure dinosaur tribal deck of some sort. But it is, like I said, it is 8 mana. They're gonna see it coming a mile away. But I don't know. I think it's still a cool card. Still a cool card. Might of the Ancestors. Target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains Vigilance. As an enchant, that's alright. Okay. Dreadmaul's Ire. Target attacking creature gets +2/+2 and gains Trample. And whenever it deals combat damage, destroy target artifact that player controls. That's pretty good. You just really need to get rid of something. A Thrashing Brontodon. So if you wanted to cheat some dinosaurs out, this dinosaur can destroy things by sacrificing itself. Just throw it and destroy a artifact or enchantment. This is alright. It's always nice to have extra effects on creatures. Visage of Dread. It's the Crystal Skull. That thing that old Indiana Jones was looking for. Joke's on him, it's a 1 black uncommon artifact. An opponent reveals their hand, and you can discard an artifact or creature from it. Okay? It's not the most dreadful thing. Oh no, it becomes a Dread Osteosaur. A dinosaur skeleton horror. A dinosaur skeleton horror. Okay. That's definitely more of a Visage of Dread. Dread Osteosaur. Cartographer's Companion. Artifact creature. Gnome. There's a bunch of gnomes in this set too, which is kind of interesting that they went back to gnomes after so long. Cavern Stomper, another dinosaur. 7/7. Scries too. It's a dinosaur that lets you. It stomps so hard that you can see stuff in your library. Or Scryed. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. So essentially, you can pay some mana, and they can't chump block your 7/7 dinosaur. Sage of Days. We've got Sage for Days. Tumbling Rock Slide. Some damage. or land you control. Target artifact becomes a dinosaur. So you can just turn an artifact. Artifact or creature becomes a dinosaur artifact creature. Comes up 4/3. Alright. Miner's Glide Ring. Okay. Deathcap Marionette. Funky Fungus. Envoy. Cool. Yeah. There's a dinosaur token. A dinosaur. Just straight up. Yep, dinosaur. Got some armor on. It is 3/3. Which means something in this pack creates a 3/3 token dinosaur. Hidden Volcano. Guardian of the Great Door. Which is just Oil Angel. Thank you, cat. I'm glad you jumped on the pillow and not clawed my back. I would have been very irate. Oh, Abuelo's Awakening, you say. Turn target artifact or non-aura enchantment from your graveyard to the battlefield with X additional 1/1 counters on it. It is a +1/+1, or it's a 1/1 spirit creature with flying. So you can basically turn an artifact or aura, or sorry, not non-aura. So an artifact or enchantment from your graveyard, bring it back to the battlefield as a creature and beef it up. So that's all right. I suppose that would be better. That's better, like strictly maybe an enchant themed deck of some sort. Sneak him back out. Eaten by piranhas is an aura. Loses all abilities and is a black skeleton creature with base power and toughness 1/1. So it loses. You just basically turn something like into a skeleton. Hey, that thing over there, it's a skeleton now. This is eaten by piranhas. Volatile Fault. Destroy one of their non-basic lands. There's a Merfolk Scout. That's not a Merfolk Pirate, so we can't turn this into the other thing. Whenever creature you control explores a land card. You put a land card from your hand on the battlefield. Okay. Explore a non-land, put a 1/1. So it's basically, if you wanted to play this as a commander, it would be a commander that just explores a lot. You would focus on exploring, the exploring mechanic. Octolan Landmark. Scry 2, and then you can craft with artifact and turn it into a levitator. Turn it into this golem. Turn it into this golem, and the golem's ability is to just give something else flying. It flies itself, and then it just goes, hey, you, that other thing, you also fly. Come with me. Okay. Sure. Runaway boulder, yeah. As one does, you have an artifact that is just a boulder. Yeah. Staggering Side. Give something 3/3 and trample until end turn. Yeah, you know, your usual combat tricks. Shipwreck Sentry, pirate. It's not a Merfolk pirate. Bummer. Hotfoot Gnome. You just give other things haste, basically. It has haste. You can give other things haste. It's great. Another Wander Glyph attacks each exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. So if you want to hate on people's graveyards, you could attack with this golem. I don't know that you would necessarily, but you know, fungus. I guess you could make there's got to be enough fungus for a fungus tribe. I would not be shocked. Flying dinosaur in white. Get 3 life, and it's got plane cycling. 3/5 for 6. Primordial Gnar. A Gnar, say. Or that gnaws. Or rather, it's an insect horror that gnaws. I gotta move my ankle real quick. Slightly crossed my legs enough to where my foot fell asleep. One second. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna do the Commander Masters pack last, just for the heck of it. Wilds of Eldraine has some fun cards. I believe it's still one of those sets that has has spells that you cast and they go to exile, or you can cast them from exile. See them when we see them. Bargain. You may sacrifice an artifact when you cast this spell. Target land you control becomes a 5/5 elemental creature. 3/3 elemental creature. With haste. Okay. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. For 1 mana, you know. It's a sorcery. It's not something you can sneak. So it's these cards here. So it's got a spell down here. You could cast just the spell, and then when this spell completes, this card gets exiled, and then you can still play this card again, which brings it back in to play. Conceited Witch. Price of Beauty. Aquatic Alchemist. None of these are vampire dinosaurs and or merfolk pirates. We've been robbed. Archon's Glory. Prophetic Prism. Add 1 mana of any color. That's, you know, it's alright for basic land fixing if you are wanting to kind of play around with lower power stuff. It lets you draw a card when it comes in, and you tap 1 into it to just this kind of mana fixing stuff is stuff you'd use in, like, I would say 4 color and up, maybe. I don't know if you'd want to strictly play this in something with like 3 colors, but maybe if you're just feeling like you just have bad color fixing lands already, or don't have a lot of other options, it works for you. Return Triumphant. Create a young hero role. The Eldraine cards have like very storybook feeling stuff to it, so you get these role cards which give things different bonuses depending on what role you give them. Like young hero role, the enchanted creature has, when this creature attacks, if it has toughness 3 or less, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So it just gets bigger. If it's a small creature, you just toss that thing on, it'll slowly get bigger. Because it's a young hero. 9 Crescendo. Sky Beast Tracker. Dream Spoilers. Fairy Warlock. Yeah. Bear Down. It's a bear. The bear on the card. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, which is, is a thing that green can do a lot of already, but it's also on a different card, so, Splashy Spellcaster. Elemental Wizard. You cast an instant or sorcery, create a sorcerer roll. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1, has, whenever this creature attacks, scry 1. It's alright. Hey, a Restless Fortress. I bought one of these already for my bat deck. It's not like a great land thing, but it's it kind of fits the theme. You can turn this land into a creature to attack with, and when the creature attacks, the defending player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. It's just like, oh hey, it does a thing. You can turn it into a nightmare creature, a white-black nightmare creature until end of turn. It's still a land, but I already got one of those. Aggravated Assault, you say? Aggravated Assault, I think, is a decent card. Tap all creatures you control, and then you get another attack phase. So if you are a deck that is beating faces a lot, hey, you like getting more combats. That's great for you. And fancy treasure, and a swamp card. It seemed already opened. Okay. Maybe it just opened really easily. Let's see. Scream Puff. Scream Puff? What? It's a food. It's a horror food, but it's just listed as a horror. Deals combat damage to a player, create a food token. It's a spooky food of some sort. And draw 2 cards, which is just, very basic. 3? That's not bad. Drawing 2 cards, Frostbridge Guard. There's a Elemental Soldier. Wait. Just let you tap a creature. Not the most exciting. The commons. Steel Bloodline. Enchant. Hopeless Nightmare, you say. Obitra's Attendance. Byra's Attendance. Desperate Party. Just Desperate Parry, sorry. Desperate Party sounds like just you're really trying to get a gathering together. It's just not going well. Everybody hates each other. Nobody brought any food. Sky Beast Tracker. Saw one of those earlier. Grabby Giant. A Grabby Giant that says, that's mine. You just create a treasure token to. Sure. Vantress Transmuter, which has a Croaking Curse. You just basically you just create a cursed roll. You just tap it and turn it into a 1/1. Glass Casket. Battlefield. Exile target creature. So you just exile a creature of value 3 or less. More exiling things cards. Stone Splitter Bolt, you say. Deals X damage. An Archive Dragon. A Dragon Wizard. Flying and Ward 2? Ward 3. Ward 2. When enters the battlefield, scry 2. Just a fancy dragon. Pondering Books. Beseech the mirror, you say. So, beseeching the mirror, you bargain. You search your library for a card to exile it face down and shuffle. Spell is bargained, you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. This spell's value is how much? Ooh, 4 or less? Hold on. 4 or less? Yes. Put the exiled card into your hand if it wasn't cast this way. So you can destroy an artifact, enchantment, or token. You cast this, and it's basically a tutor. So you just go, oh, and if it's 4 or less, you can tutor that card out and play it for free. So 4 mana to get a 4 mana card out of your library and play it, which is not terrible. Griffin Airy, you say? At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life, just get a griffin. Just get a griffin. I do like these kind of like interesting, different art styles for the extra cards. Planes, a bird, just a bird. Just the most bird that you could have. Flying bird. That in the pack pile, you say? So light blades. Oops. On a Titanic growth. Not bad. Just a little bit better than a giant growth. Warehouse tabby. Just a cat. Just a cat hanging around to get mice. Maybe. Zoom in for me. Auto zoom. Warehouse tabby. You just get a 1/1 black rat whenever a enchantment you control is put in the graveyard from the battlefield. Diminisher Witch. Yeah. Break the spell, destroy target enchantment. A token was destroyed this way, you draw a card. If you get rid of an enchantment token from somebody else, you just draw a card off. Not bad. Bespoke Battle Garb. Beginning of combat on your turn. Only +2/+0. I'm looking at like the budget equipment stuff, so I can maybe piece together that white red equipment deck for that dwarf commander. I would have to fish him out of here. But Protective Parents. Frantic Firebolt. Just gotta get that Firebolt out there quickly. Discerning Financier, you say? At the beginning of your upkeep, if somebody controls more lands than you, trade a treasure token. That's pretty good. You can just give somebody your treasures. That's not a bad little like group hug sort of card. You can just give somebody one of your treasures and you draw a card if you do. Royal Treatment. Instant. Get your good rolls. Means hexproof. And you get a royal roll to him. That's important. Here's a Rat Peasant. Rat Peasant just, you know, in there being a butcher. Maybe you get a rat token. Maybe you can sacrifice another target creature. Or your creature gain menace. You know, something like that. Hyla's Crown of Winter. Okay. can tap target creature. Costs less during your turn. Or you can sacrifice the crown and draw a card for each tapped creature your opponents control. So, you know, if they swing a lot of stuff at you, or in general, you could just go, yeah, well, hey, I'm going to draw a bunch of cards. Thanks. See ya. Brain Sanity. An aura curse. Something you can play on somebody. Beginning each step, that person mills X cards, where X is the number of cards put in their graveyard from anywhere this turn. If you're already milling them, you could mill them for more. Sure. And then enchant a land, and you can just enchant a land, make it an island, and draw a card. You know, if you needed islands. It's the can't block rat. Zoom. Thank you. This creature can't block. Islands gave us Britain. Oh. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Snooze this for a second. I'll see if I can get through this pack here before the commercial break pops up. I don't think that there's a Britain. Oh, you know what? There is Doctor Who cards in Magic the Gathering, so I guess there is canonically a Britain. White Blade, Hamlet Glutton, just a giant. Feed the Cauldron. Ice out. Get your ice out. Dungeon of Winter. Tap up to target creature, scry one, then draw a card. More Bespoke Battle Garb. A dog with Menace. When it enters, it creates a black rat creature that can't block. Just got a rat riding him, I guess. That's what this pack is supposed to be, or the pack itself is a bunch of dogs with a rat controlling them, I guess. Steering them. There's that Prophetic Prism. Stone Splitter Bolt. Sacrifice an artifact. Does X damage. Deals twice X damage. That Archive Dragon again. Fancy book dragon. Taking my nightmares. Just in case you get spooked. Agatha's Soul Cauldron. May spend mana as though it were mana of any color to activate abilities of all creatures you control. Alright. Creatures you control with 1/1 counters on them. Annoy the dog, apparently. Have all activated abilities of all creatures exiled with the Soul Cauldron. Exile target card from a graveyard. When a creature is exiled this way, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. So essentially, Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Let me get some of the other stuff. Prismatic Omen. Lands you control are every basic land type. That's not bad. That's pretty good if you're playing multiple colors. That way you can just you can just play basic lands. Pretty good. Pretty fancy. And these are the rolls. These are the roll tokens. So that's just what the enchantment looks like. I have to look those up. I'll have to look a few of these after I'm done. I think Agatha Soul Cauldron is pretty good. Prismatic Omen is nice for if you're playing more than one color. If you're playing 3 or 4 colors and you've got green, you know, why not? Whether or not you can reliably get to this card in your deck, but obviously you wouldn't bank around just the one. If you're playing Commander anyway, you wouldn't bank around the one card to fix your colors. So let's see if I can. Let me take a quick pause here. I'll just run the ads real quick and then finish the Commander Masters, and I'll probably take a little bit of a break. Maybe I'll come back a little later. I've not been talking a lot lately, so my throat is kind of a little sore just from speaking for an hour. So, I mean, just a second. Okay, let me swap back over. I would like to, at some point in the future, once I can get my body under control a little bit more, I'd like to do some of the Commander games on stream. That way I can kind of hang out, chat with some folks, get back into the mode of streaming a little bit more again, while doing something fun, entertaining for me, having a good time playing the old cards, throwing together some, you know, whatever trash decks I've got sitting around, or, you know, seeing what all I can conjure up. Like I said, I might sit down and brew up that dwarf red white equipment deck at some point. So this Commander Masters, it's a master set, so you know, more expensive booster. It's got like a couple more rares and whatnot in it. It's got more full arty stuff. It's, you know, maybe there's some cool stuff in there. Got a treasure card, a carrion grub. Oberyn the Frostfang, you say. Attacking creatures you control have death touch. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. 5? For 5, you say? Attacking creatures have death touch is not bad. Especially if you are making like a token deck of some sort. You just make all your little chump guys into murder machines that your opponents either have to block and lose stuff to, or let you draw cards with. So seems all right. Ezra High Lord Artificer, which I think is one of those commanders that is broken and or people hate. Something like that. I think this is in the... Whenever you draw your second card. So this is in the Miss Bumbleflower deck precon. It comes in the precon. It's a pretty decent card. what it is. Slimefoot the Stowaway. There's your fungus. There's your fungus commander if you wanted to play fungus as your commander. Sapperling you control dies. Deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. It's not really synergistic with fungus. It's with sapperlings, which are just plants, but you know. Morrow Sorcerer. Morrow Sorcerer, power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control, so it's just a big, potentially big thing with trample. Armorcraft Judge. Draw a card for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Not bad if you're playing elves with counters. Little Guardian. Pamplin Rhino. Elvish Mystic, which is just another one of many other extra Land of War elves if you need more mana dorks. Skyshroud Claim. Ooh. So I've got one of these in an old set. Searching for 2 forests is actually pretty cool, and putting them on the battlefield, because 2 forest cards means not just basic forests, but cards that say forest on them, so actually pretty nice. Choose land or non-land. You can reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a card of the chosen type. Put that card in your hand. Cool. Thriving Grove. This is one of those common, comes into play tapped, and you can choose a color other than green, and you could go, oh, I've got a green and red land, because that's the color I need to fix. Alright. Search your library for a basic land, and put it in your hand, shuffle. 1/1 Thopter? Eh. Basic land? Eh. I guess. Oh, there's a fancy command tower. Add 1 mana of any color to your color's identity, which is, you know, one of those cards you always play in Commander, because it's just always in Commander. And the... yes. Crypt Sliver. I didn't get a Crypt Sliver. Dang. I would have rather had this Crypt Sliver than the old art for said Crypt Sliver. And then there's a basic land. Basic land in the older older frames. Those are a lot darker than the old frames actually are. But you know, whatever. It's cool. Look. I'll have to look up what old Urza is sitting at, because I don't play Urza. I'm not really gonna build an Urza deck, so maybe old Urza's worth something. I think it might be. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna hop off for a little while. If my throat feels better, I might pop a lozenge or something and see about my throat relaxing up. But thanks for popping in, Gravy. Much appreciated. Hanging out. I will definitely try to feel beets. Actually, I would like to grow beets, but last year I didn't have a particularly good. Last year I didn't really do any gardening at all. The year before, I did not particularly get much in the way of beets, sadly. Oh well. Radishes, fine. Beets, nothing. Like, I think they just didn't get deep enough and bugs got to them, I think is what happened actually. Anyway, enough rambling. If I come back later, maybe I'll do some World of Horror. I don't know, retro. We'll see. We'll see what my throat feels like, and if not, I'll probably be back on the weekend sometime. But thanks for hanging out. Thanks for popping in. I will catch you all later.